fire, phenomenal radiance in the central core. From that, I watched this brilliant light piercing out, and I thought even the stars in the universe, even the constellations must find their energy source from this focal point. What is that light? Is there someone in there surrounded by this radiance, or is that just an energy source in the cosmos? Is that just some power source of good in the universe? Or is there a person or a being in that radiance? As I questioned that in my own mind, a voice spoke to me from the center of the light. The voice said, "Ian, do you wish to return?" As I heard this man's voice, I instantly recognized it be the same one that spoke to me on the side of the road where I nearly closed my eyes and died. The same voice that asked me to beg for my life, the same voice that spoke to me in the ambulance, asked me if I'd forgive these men. As I heard his voice, I thought, he knows my name, there is someone, but return where? Where am I? As I looked behind, I could see the same circular-shaped opening, like the tunnel that I'd apparently just travelled down, dissipating back into darkness. I thought, darkness, hospital bed, my physical body. Have I left my physical form? Have I actually come up this tunnel of light? Is this real? Am I standing here out of my physical form? Or am I comatized in the hospital, having some bizarre dream or hallucination? Am I alive or am I dead?
Quite a quandary there.
Well, my mind, I could cognitively think of the two alternatives. You don't leave your mind behind.
No.
As I stood there grappling with what was reality, I thought, this could be real. I could actually be dead. Maybe I did die. Perhaps I'm standing here. I thought, but return where? I responded to the question. I said, I don't even know where I am. If I'm out of my physical body, I wish to return. I have no idea where I am. As I spoke that to him, he spoke to me again and said, Ian, if you wish to return, you must see in a new light. I thought, if I want to go back, I must see in a new light. What does that mean? Light. See the light. Look at this light. Am I seeing the light? It must be. Look at this. It's some phenomenal radiance. Are you the true light? As I asked the question to the person who was speaking to me, words appeared in front of my eyes. God is light. And in him there is no darkness at all. 1 John 1:5. I thought I've read this somewhere, a Christmas card in South Africa, in Cape Town, in Bantry Bay. I remember reading this, but I didn't know what the 1 John 1:5 was. I thought there were hieroglyphics, Roman or, you know what I mean, Egyptian, something. I had no idea what that numerology was. But these words had fascinated me because it said, God is light. Every other philosophy or religion I'd ever heard anyone expound on said that God is yin and yang, light and dark, good and evil, in the circle of life, as they used to tell me in their philosophy and their religion. God had both light and darkness in him. They said, well, you've got good and evil in you, Ian, so therefore if you're created in the image of God, God must. But this teaching said, no, God is pure light. Man might have good and evil in him, but God has none. He is pure light. As I stood there, I thought, could that be God? And in him there's no darkness at all. I've just come from darkness. Whoever this person is, whoever this being is, there is no darkness, no shadow, nothing but light. Could that be God? As I'm standing there, I'm thinking, well, it could be. Look at the intensity and power that's surrounding him. Look at the phenomenal light. And whoever he is, he knows my name. And he knows what I'm thinking. Before I even speak, he knows my inner thought. I thought only God could do that. I thought if that is God and God is light, then his light and presence must be able to search my inner man. His spirit must be able to see everything that I've done wrong in my life. You know, you can put a masquerade or a mask up before people, you know what I mean? You can fool people. But here, I knew that all the masquerades and masks in my life were gone. I was undone. That light was penetrating and searching the depth of me. I thought, they've made a mistake here. I shouldn't be here. I'm not a good man. I should crawl back under some rock or go back into the darkness where I belong. I don't want God to see my life transparent before him. Have you ever been ashamed of stuff? I mean, I've done some stuff. I thought, nah.
All of us.
I've done that stuff, man. I knew myself. I began to pull back. As I began to pull back towards the darkness of the tunnel, I watched a wave of radiance come off him and move towards me. I expected it to touch me and literally catapult me back into the pit. But as this wave of light emanated forth off him, it moved through me. And all I got was love. I thought, you can't love me, I've cursed you. More love came. This time it got stronger. I said, why are you loving me, God? Don't you know what I've done? More love. I said, I've slept around, taken heaps of drugs, more of his love. I couldn't believe. My whole body tingled with a supernatural presence as love and forgiveness and acceptance just came to issue forth from him. It's like he was completely embracing me with his presence no matter what I'd done wrong. I couldn't understand it, I felt myself beginning to weep. As I began to weep, the love got stronger. I could feel this liquid love moving through me and filling me up on the inside. I felt the entire part of my being being filled with light, but more tears kept coming. I just couldn't understand that God could accept me as I was. As it continued to come, I looked out to see I was now surrounded, encased in radiance. My entire person was full of light, and I was totally at peace. As I stood there, I watched the waves of light ebb and then cease, and I thought, I wonder if I could possibly step through the light that surrounds God. I thought, I'm so close. I wonder if he'd let me in. I stood there and said, God, could I come in? I want to ask you the meaning and truth to life. He said nothing. So I thought, if he can love and accept me as I am, surely he won't mind. So I stepped towards the radiance. As I did, I found myself disappear into this light. It was so dense, it was like a cloud. As I moved into it, I was now where inside the light were like shimmering veils of fluorescence. It was almost like small stars caught inside this cloud, giving off facets of radiance, sparkling, shimmering, like the facets of almost a cut diamond, how it gives off light. But it wasn't physical in the sense that it wasn't stones or diamonds. It was actually light breaking forth in this cloud. As I moved through veils of this light, an amazing healing presence was coming forth off the light. It was like a healing property was touching my broken heart. You know what I mean? I could feel my heart of hearts being healed. I mean, I'd look for love and sex and stuff, but this was pure. I mean, this wasn't some degenerate, sicko stuff. This was pure. And it was just touching. Yes, the depths of me, man. I knew what sex and that stuff was, but this was pure love, no strings attached. As I continued to move through, I thought, is there any way that God would let me see him? Because all I'm seeing is this light. Could I see God? Will I just see this radiance? As I moved in, it suddenly began to part. As the light began to open up, I became aware that standing in the center, I began to make out a man's bare feet. Around his ankles were dazzling white robes, garments. Not garments of cloth, but garments of light. As I looked out and saw that, I began to lift my face up to see the chest of the man, and his arms were outstretched with dazzling white robes, as if to welcome me. But as I looked towards his face, I almost had to turn away. Because as I saw the light and radiance coming off his face, I turned because it was so pure. And it was 7